It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day, I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house. I'm taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage.
It starts with some beer, so you shouldn't have fear. Two garbage guys with facts, but they both still have tact. It's that time at last for the best damn podcast. It's Can Crusher Day!
And what a weekend we had here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. My beer's already cracked. Chad's already drinking a pop. We are in the hotel. I don't know if we're recouping yet because WrestleCade is just everything that it is. It is everything. Chad, hello, by the way.
Yes, hello, Mark. Nice to see you.
I've seen you all weekend. We've been in
let me have some talk here. Appreciate that. Great weekend. First off, the Best Western. We can
we'll give them
put the address in the hotel. Excellent, very roomy.
Mrs. Can Crusher did a good job on that.
Yes, Mrs. Can Crusher did a hell of a good job on that.
So let me pause right there. Guys, if you are going to come down to WrestleCade, the perks of staying in the hotel, of seeing the wrestlers, is, yes, you will get to go to the bar and see the wrestlers, and it's right across the street or like a half a block away or whatever. We really didn't even go there. But the downfall is you're spending, it would have been
$125 a person
per
person, no matter how many you had in your room. If you had 3 people in your room and one bed because you swing like that, it would be $375 a night
for a room. We paid, and we're open. We'll tell everybody. We came down Friday night, stayed Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're leaving tomorrow morning, as I hope I get this up by midnight. So nonetheless, we paid $215. We're rounding. It was $214, whatever. We paid $215, and we're 5 freaking minutes away.
Yep, and throw in. Everything clean, obviously. Awesome, sized room, quiet. No bullshit
drama
going on. No drama
Concord.
like the last time. In the morning, they serve an awesome breakfast. Your pastries, your choice of beverages, scrambled eggs that were excellent, bacon.
A freaking juice machine that had like 6 juices on it.
Your fruits. They had cereal. You could make pancakes or waffles. Biscuits and gravy.
We did just
awesome.
eat, but I'm getting hungry again.
Yeah. Way to talk about this.
Yeah. Good thing it's a wrestling podcast and we're talking about breakfast. So, all right. So we get down here Friday, we check in, and we head right over to the convention center, and we're there. We're there from 3 o'clock until 1 o'clock, and we had two things going on. That's it.
Yep, when the cops kicked us out at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll get to that. 2 things going on is there was a little meet and greet before AML showcase of champions. Okay? And then afterwards we had the Dustin Reynolds Tales from the Roads hosted by Alicia too, which unbelievable. We'll break down everything how we liked them, but we're just going to give you a gamut of what happened. Saturday was Instant Fan Fest. You're there. As soon as you get there, you're at the Fan Fest. Then there was...
We were there at... Doors were to open general at 10. The Muda VIP meet and greet was...
At 9.
At 9. Those guys got in first, and they got into the general meet and greet area first. No big deal. I forgot what the hell I was going to say on that one.
And then after the Fan Fest, we'll get there. After the Fan Fest, there was the Super Show, okay? Again, we'll break that down. And then another, the Arn Show. His podcast was last night. If you paid, it was it was a premium event, as was the Dustin one. You got to go to, not as late last night, but then wrap around to today, which is Sunday. Started off with a chapel service from George South. And then WCCW reunion show. And then Queens of Combat. AML.
The night.
The day after. And then on comedy show with Jake Roberts and Duggan. And we'll get to that. Because there's other things that changed as well. So let's wrap back to Friday. And then we'll give you our overall experience. Friday night we get down here. We do everything we have to as we were binging, eating, and everything as we're doing this show today. We had a 24-ounce Yingling again. Friday night's super show, okay, of champions was okay.
Yeah, it was nothing spectacular. On the same token, nothing, real sloppy or crappy.
No, I'm not saying there was a bad wrestling match down here this weekend. Not a bad one.
But the showcase was kind of exactly that, a showcase. Here's all the talent, You
saw a lot of AML kids, talent, however you want to put it. The indie organization that's a huge part of WrestleCade. You saw them really spotlighted. You saw some Ethan Page in this because he was in Friday night. You saw the Gymnasty Boys have been around. Timmy Lou Retton was actually in IWC one time. So I saw him in a super indie. Pillman Jr. was there. Killer Cross was there. Willie Mack, Brian Cage. Guys, we will not break down each match, though, because I'll give them props. You can go back on Fight TV and watch this. And there's a link that you guys need to know about Wrestling for Warriors. They're going to get a lot of money from WrestleCade. So that's why I don't want to give you complete breakdown of matches. We can talk about some spots in the matches, but WrestleCade is given a lot of money Wrestling for Warriors, and it's kids battling cancer.
Yep.
We need to get a part of that, as we did the Cauliflower Alley Club. That's one of my goals this coming week, to reach out and say, hey, the Can Crushers Wrestling podcasts need to be part of this, making donations to that.
Right.
If you don't want
like
to,
an awesome idea.
Yeah.
If you don't want to,
If you don't want to, Chad, I'm saying I don't care. I am going to. Yeah, I am going to reach out and say this is what we need to do.
Now Mark's saying I'm the Grinch that stole Christmas.
Not yet. Kiera Hogan was on it. Miranda Alizé, Rich Swann, Matt Cross. I mean, there was a lot of talent Friday night right off the bat, and we're like, holy shit.
Yeah, it was great to see everybody, and they like I said, it was a showcase. They showed what they can do. It wasn't, there wasn't like storylines or run-ins or feuds or stuff like that. It was, let's have a mix and match of the talent, and let the talent just show, their spots, their stick. Let them do what they do.
Right. And that's the card, more or less. Well, we can talk about some of it, but let's talk about it. As soon as we go in, we go to the meet and greet, and there's not supposed to be many wrestlers there signing. The one that we were looking for, the Sheik, had some issues. He didn't show up for Friday night. Nonetheless, I'm not going to bash many people on this. Sheik's dog was sick. So I that's it. All right, that's all I'm going to say about Friday night with the Sheik. There's others that's coming, though, right?
Yeah.
There's others that's coming.
The highlight of the signing on Friday was Road Warrior Animal was there.
And Chad was a child. We both were children.
Yeah, I meeting him. I was like a little kid, meeting his idol and that, and he was just as nice as could be. You seen the pictures. And that awesome guy.
And Chad made a foobar 2 of them this weekend.
Twice, yes. First one with Animal, I was such a
child.
I was like, oh shit. There's my swear word for the section. And I went and I was like, get an autograph and a picture with you, and gave the price, and that's fine by me and everything. Got it.
We got to wear the pads.
Awesome.
We got to wear the pads.
Yes, I got my belt autographed, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to see Animal, why the belt was purchased, was for this event, for this purpose. And then about 15 minutes later, I was like...
crying to me.
I was not crying. I came over and said, hey, guess what the dumbass did?
And I didn't know which one you meant because I had already spent a lot of money by then.
And Mark looked at me and I was like, yeah. I said I'd already bought a meet and greet with Animal.
For Saturday.
And
you couldn't turn Saturdays into Friday or Sunday because Animal stayed the whole weekend, by the way, folks.
Right. But they were with the ordered meet and greets.
Third party. You go in, they, scan your phone, do whatever. A percentage of, or that goes and determines the percentage of what they get paid. Right.
Some of what they get paid. So I understood it, and Animal was like, he's like, shit, man. He's like, he explained it to me and everything, and he was like, come back, come to me tomorrow. I'll remember you. He said, come to me tomorrow, and I'll make it right for you. And we'll get into that
on Saturday. So that was the showcase Saturday on Friday night was really cool. I'm going to fast forward just for this one person the whole weekend. All Ego Ethan Page, wins or losses on the weekend, and like I said, I'm not going to tell you what happened, had a wonderful showing. If he used this as a showcase for him as a resume to get into one of the so-called big companies, I mean, he's already known. He's in Impact. He had every match that Ethan Page was in was amazing.
Yeah, he's a top-level talent. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was a good guy in some.
Yep.
He was, instant heel in others. And then there was ones where he kind of got an indifferent reaction, and he was like, And, of course, it was funnier for him to be a douche in those, but...
When he was indifferent, he was really a little off, but not off enough to say he had a bad weekend. When he was bad, and he's like the jokester bad, because he's not dastardly. There's the word dastardly for the week. He's just always joking, and he remembers that he's still indie, so to speak, so he'll make this smart-ass remark to the fans. And that's fun. That's fun with me.
Yeah, I thought the funny thing he did in the one match is wrestling a masked guy who had the blind part in the eyes or whatever, to where he couldn't see his eyes, and he was trying to poke him in the eye and couldn't poke him in the eye. So he just kicked him in the gut and said, "Everybody has a gut, damn it. Not as good as mine."
Some guys that I've reached out to, we're going to try to link up with a lot from AML. I liked Paxton Neal. I liked Murphy Costigan. He was whiter than Sheamus.
Yeah.
Just as...
Could have been Sheamus's...
Son,
yeah.
Didn't have the spiky hair or anything. I've reached out to some of those guys. Some of them already committed. No dates are set. They've just committed, working stuff out all the weekend. Everybody's busy down here. Cane of Death was a great team. The Heat Seekers were all over this weekend. All over.
Yeah.
They did. C.W. Anderson. I mean, we're running through a lot of these guys right now. C.W. Anderson, when he was in ECW and just around 15 years ago, he was there. He is Winston-Salem.
Yeah, he was in ECW. He was somebody who never really... I don't want to say he didn't fully catch on, but he wasn't somebody that was, a whipping boy or a jobber or however you want to put it.
Mid-carder.
He was a good mid-carder. He was somebody that you could use either way to sway the fans and, whatever, make your point, make your storylines. And this weekend, I think it was honestly seeing him in action. It's a miss out by the other federations and stuff that didn't sign him and work with the guy.
He could still be used in an Impact, in a AEW, Al Snow, and OVW type of way, because he's got some miles left. He would really help the likes, maybe an MJF or not MJF. If I'm calling him out, I'm not calling him out. I'm just saying the younger crowd.
Yeah, he could be one of these teachers, from the old school, if you want to put it, way of doing things that can work with, the younger talent. Hey, this is, more important. This is how you connect long range with them. Don't go full balls to the wall in the first 30 seconds of the match. Don't do your big spots at the beginning of the match. Space the stuff out. Anything you should do, the most important stuff, the most impactful stuff, should be at the end.
Yeah, and that was a message a couple times this week down here. As when we give our final thoughts, we'll kind of wrap into that. The gods remembered in time, Grit. Remember that tag team name? Those two guys are flippin' huge, and they can move. They are bigger, to let you guys know, than Razor and Akam. What the hell are they called now? With Seth Rollins, you know who I mean.
The authors of
Pain. They are bigger than them, and they can move like... I don't want to say the Young Bucks, but for their size, they can move like the Young Bucks.
They to me move like everybody's familiar with Wardlow.
Yeah, now they are.
They move. They can move like him.
Yeah.
Just as quick.
I was upset about the ending of this match.
Yeah.
I really was. Nothing against who won it. I do like them, but Grit was just guys. For our neck of the woods, Asylum, IWC, Imagine, Rise, these are all guys that we need to get in promoters' ears and say, hey, let's start working with some of the talent down here and do a transfer or something. The Gymnasty Boys, I know they're a huge name. They're out there. They are out there. People know them. Pillman Jr. looked great.
Yeah.
And a couple of the guys... the Willie Mack Brian Cage match, it was an Impact match, right?
Yeah, an Impact match in many ways, impactful because they were stiff.
Oh
and
my
they
God.
Beat the piss out of each other. I mean, there was potatoes thrown. You could see their moves were hard, and it just lent to, holy shit, these guys are really beating the hell out of each other. And they were laying in. They really, neither one of them pulled any or held anything back.
No, not at all. Not at all. Kiera Hogan had a great weekend as well. Probably one of my match of the weekends when we get to today on Sunday. That's kind of what happened more or less for the showcase of superstars. Do you want to add anything to that?
No.
What we enjoyed after that, though, probably my spotlight of the weekend. We had a Q&A with Dustin Reynolds, Rhodes, however you want to call him, Gold Dust, and Alicia too. First of all, Alicia is a sweetheart. She's beautiful. All right, let's just get off the plate. She's beautiful. But she is the lowest key person in the world, and she loves each and one of us, and she is just fun to talk to.
Very, very down to earth, not standoffish, not, hey, how are you doing? Let me sign your thing. Get the hell out of here.
She sat by us.
I mean, yeah, she sat by us. We talked. I requested her and Dustin were over there kind of picking on each other and messing around, And I went over and asked them, I said, hey, guys, can I get a special picture of you two? And I'm thinking they're just going to stand by each other. No, it's Alicia basically trying to back suplex a Dustin.
Right.
And it just looks really funny. And they were both great.
And then, Alicia and I have been talking since then about just random stuff, setting some stuff up. So she asked me, she's like, hey, can your buddy, either send me that picture or you get it from him and send it to me? She's like, after I thought about it, I thought it was really cute, so do you mind? I'm like, no. I said, Chad, send me that picture. I'll send it to Alicia. And then she sent me a winky face back this morning because she was stuck in LaGuardia for 12 hours today, by the way, with the ice and everything we having back home. I know you guys are getting pounded back home, and sorry. It's 40 here, so it's not great weather. I mean, it rained today. It was kind of pretty shitty.
Yeah, that was definitely not what you guys are going through back there. First and foremost, we hope everyone's safe. If you don't gotta travel, don't get out. Check on your your elderly neighbors. Check on your neighbors and that. Make sure they're okay.
Bring your pups in.
Yeah, especially the elderly. Check on them. Like Mark said, your animals, don't leave them outside and stuff like this. Just, use your head.
So now let's talk about the Dustin thing a little bit. It was raw. He let loose on everything. Again, guys, it's on Fight TV. You can watch it. And like a lot of the proceeds are going. I'm going to keep pumping this up, Wrestling for Warriors. A lot of stuff is going towards that this weekend. I don't know how it all works, but they brought it up at pretty much almost every event. There was a picture of Wrestling for Warriors, this, that, and the other thing. But a lot of this is on Fight TV, and it's money out of somebody's pocket. If it goes back to a wrestler, I'm not going to be that person that wants to ruin that. But what we got out of Dustin is, first of all, it lasted from 10:30 to 1 when we were kicked out. And
Yeah.
Dustin legit said at one point, I don't want to leave, I'll pay for it. Let's stay a little bit longer. Because there was 2 cops there that were getting charged $40 an hour. He's like, I'm not going. No way. I like doing this. This is fun. They put the kibosh to that.
Yeah, he was going to just pay for them to have
one more hour, maybe.
One more
It
hour
was
out of his
$80. We
pocket.
probably could have pulled it together.
But they didn't want to. That's fine. That's on them. I understand. But top to bottom with Dustin, just hilarious. He pulled no punches, but he wasn't vulgar and condescending. He didn't,
I don't know.
F this, F. He didn't just bash somebody
He didn't
or say
bash him,
something
but bash
nasty
him.
without saying why. And of course, who a good most of his issues were with. And the one thing that we took from him, and you could see he's 50 years old. He said that he feels like a kid again being with AEW because he's not in a prison.
Right.
He's not, being spoon-fed the same stuff that somebody who's been in a business for a year and just got out of training camp is being fed.
He does a great Vince McMahon impression, by the way.
Oh, yeah, hilarious.
Hilarious. One thing that I will forewarn you, it was NC-17, because some people are going to take this, if you do watch it, and say he might be politically incorrect, but he explained why he was doing it. And I know you guys know, we ran the gamut of the Gold Dust whole thing. Everybody wanted to talk about Gold Dust, so they stuck on the Gold Dust thing. I wanted to ask him how much he really hated the King of the Road match with Crusher Khrushchev, what the hell was his name? Big Bully, not Busick, Blacktop Bully, or whatever the hell his name was back then.
The Repo Man.
Well, yeah, Darso, Barry Darso, whoever the hell he was in that stupid truck driving around with hay and everything. But they didn't cover that. Due to the fact is, everybody was infatuated with the
Gold Dust development, character, his objections, how he got over his fears.
And he didn't even know, damn it, the word that Vince always said to him, to be Goldust. It started with an A. Androgynous. That's
Androgynous.
it. Dustin kept saying yes, yes, yes to Vince about this androgynous character. And then once he got off the phone with Vince, he's like, I don't even know what the fuck androgynous meant. So he looked it up and he's like, oh shit, what did I do? He talks about after Goldust is that way, and then he just becomes a freak. And then what blew the night up was remember when Goldust got electrocuted, and he had Tourette's for a while? Dustin told us where that came from. And it's unbelievable.
Yeah, are we talking about this?
We can. Yeah, we can.
So he's, where it wholly started. It started way before that. Like, I think he said almost a year in advance. And what it did was he just started, he was in a hotel one night and he said there was nothing on TV. He said I put Jerry Springer on.
Because he's a Forensic Files fan. We found out that.
And he's watching Jerry Springer, and they had people on there that have Tourette's. Well, Dustin didn't know what the hell Tourette's was. So he's watching these people, and person A is talking about these people, and all of a sudden, one of the
Tourette's, how can we say, it hits once.
It
has
just,
a smell.
This person just turned to another one, noises, called him a effing bitch.
I already said F on this one, so it's all right.
And it was just, if you understand the Tourette's thing, you see it, that's what he did. He said, I'm sick. Dustin, he said, I'm sick. I've got a dark sense of humor. But he said, I found that shit funny. And he said, politically correct, I don't have anything against the people. But he said, I found that shit funny. So what he would do,
rib the guys in the locker room.
Yeah, he'd do it all of a sudden, get looks and wonder what the guys would be looking, what the hell's wrong with him? And, once they caught on and, it was kind of a thing, who can you get
But there was
next?
one person that was his
cohort in
crime, and I never would have thought it was this person.
And this is everywhere. This is where this person came into the story. This was everywhere. It wasn't just in the locker room.
It was on a plane.
It wasn't just in the arena. It was on a freaking plane. And this person, never in a million years would I have guessed it.
I never would have thought it was him.
Bob Hawley. As hardcore Hawley.
Yeah, not Sparky Plug, but hardcore
Hawley. So, they'd be in an airport and there'd be, hundreds of people around and everything, and Hawley would give Dustin a wink or whatever, and Dustin would do some Tourette's thing and swear and cuss, and then just go back to messing on his phone, and then he'd bitch at his phone doing the Tourette's thing, and people were looking at him, and then Hawley chime in, don't laugh at him, don't point at him, don't pay any attention, he forgot to take his meds today.
Imagine that on a plane. And that's what he said. He was sitting, I'm saying grandma and grandpa, but he said like two elderly people. So you have a grandma and grandpa sitting next to you, and he just goes off, fuck shit, or whatever, and he's making the faces and everything that he did as Goldust and everything. Oh my God. We died laughing.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. Alicia couldn't hold herself.
You're picturing, and anybody who's flown knows how small coach seating is. Dustin's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's huge. If you look at the pictures, I don't know how tall you are.
I'm 5'8".
Mark's 5'8". I'm 5'6". Look at the pictures of us with Dustin.
Dustin's 7'12", I think.
He's huge. And here's him probably sitting in this seat where, a quarter of his body is over into the other seat with other people that are in the same cramped position, and he just does this Tourette's thing.
Yeah.
And again, I want to state, we're not making fun of the people.
No.
It was just, at that time, it was just hilarious. look it up on YouTube. I'm sure you can find
you have
this
to.
stuff. It's just hilarious.
And then they went into, stuff with is everything. They talked about, stuff that he's doing in AEW, people that he like in AEW. But overall, one of my favorite things this weekend was that.
Yeah.
Just because how close we were with and just getting the whole experience. If there was one person... Well, no, there's one person that really didn't hold punches back, and that happened today. But Friday night, we're like, holy shit, if this is what it's going to be like, we already punched our ticket for next year after the Dustin thing. We will be back.
Most definitely.
So we roll back to the hotel. It's about 1:30. We were hearing that people were in line really early Saturday for this, so we're like, holy shit, we're not ones to ever be late. We're up at 5. We're out the door at 5:30. We are at the convention center by 5:50. We're in line. There's no lights on. There's not a human being in the convention center but us. Boom. First in line. People roll in maybe 6:15, 6:30. They're like, holy shit, there's 2 idiots already here. We're like, yep, we're from Pennsylvania. This is how we roll. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, fine and dandy. Then, Chad, it becomes weird because 7 o'clock, there's 10 of us. And we're hearing about this line.
Yeah, nobody, there wasn't even a big number by 9 o'clock. You're talking
You had your Muda people. Your people.
Outside of the Muda people, you're talking maybe 100 people there. And we're like, holy hell, this is going to, pick up at some point. And then, okay, preface as usual with these things, nothing went off on time. There was usually
nothing went off on time.
Anywhere from
wrestling.
10 to 20 minutes late,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. By the time they were letting people in, outside of the Muda people who got into the big area first, the main area first, there was maybe 300 people, 400 people at the most there, and then it just picked up.
It was steady all day then.
Yeah, it was. I've read reviews where people say, no, it was so crowded and the lines were so long for the people. There wasn't a single line that you waited more than 10 minutes in. Even when the Sheik got there late. Saturday.
Relatively late Saturday.
And everybody jumped to his, you were maybe a 20-minute wait in line for his.
We were broke by then.
Yeah.
Let's not sugarcoat that.
Yeah.
We were broke by then that Sheik just didn't end up in our budget. That's sad. That's really sad that we couldn't grab the Sheik, but we were just, all in all, we just got done talking to my wife and your wife. 45, I think, autographs and or pictures is what we got, right?
Yeah.
About, rounding.
Yeah.
And the package was unbelievable. We'll round the packages up at the end of this. Unbelievable package. But all right, let's dive into the Fan Fest now. We get in there, and I've been to one of these before with the English professor when we went to a big event, 12 or whatever it is. I think they're on 17 now. So I kind of knew how they ran. Chad got in there, and let's go. Well, first of all, Muda came late then, too. After his 9 o'clock session, he needed a break. When we all knew we had to get to Muda, because Muda was the thing. Muda didn't show up right off the bat. So I'm like, listen, I know I have to see Al Snow drop off his shirt. I did that. We talked a couple seconds. I saw a Baby Doll. Baby Doll and I chatted a little bit since she was on the show. And now I'm waiting to get her autograph because there's a guy in front of me and he's talking. And I'm like, all right, whatever, that's fine. Chad's already up to his elbow, ready to go, biting. Come on, we got to get this shit. We got to get this.
And this was just, I'm like thinking I had it in the back of my head.
And
oh
Mark's
shit,
around.
all these people are coming, gonna come in and that. We have an opportunity to go and get these people and not miss anybody. We need to get mowed. And that was me. I'd never
loved it.
I'd never been to one, and plus my fears of holy hell, we got all these great, free autographs we can get, and we're gonna
Mark's dicking around with
we're
Baby
gonna
Doll.
screw the pooch.
Mark's dicking around with Baby Doll.
And I was like, oh my God. So I was like, hey, I'm just gonna go. I said, I'm gonna go get. There was a couple up there. The Samoans were right near Baby Doll. West Hollywood Blondes, awesome guys, awesome freaking
Awesome guys. Yeah.
And the one of the highlights, the main person that I wanted to go get, Kelly, or Barbie Blank, aka Kelly was there. Well, Mark got done with Baby Doll, then we just both hammered.
We blew through everybody then.
Yeah. I mean, Kelly, awesome. Animal lover. She had her little pup there.
And I didn't see it. I mean, she was like, what do you want on the picture? And I'm like, oh my God, your dog's here. And she stopped for a minute, petted the dog. And I forget the name of the dog. But I'm like, it was nice. And
Yeah.
the dog was well behaved.
Yeah, dog was just there. Dog could have given a rat's ass less about what was going on.
Right,
around
had a
him.
ball and it was good.
It was good. Then we started. Big object for me was to get the belt signed by the huge guys. In my opinion, my favorites. From Barry Windham to Rock and Roll Express to Midnight Express. That was my thing, and I'm gonna say, Barry Windham, the most laid back dude. You would think he is on a permanent high, like he's smoking 5 pounds of, weed a day. He's just as cool as could be. Rock and Roll Express, obviously.
Right. If you don't know anything about them, come on.
I asked them, I say, hey guys, I said, how much would it be to get, to the belt sign? Because it's a quote unquote premium item, and we'll go into that
that's coming
soon. Trust me. And Robert Gibson was like, $10 a piece.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, a guy at a strip joint for the first time.
Yeah, he
Here's
was
your money.
Definitely doing that. I ran right over to Alicia because we had it set up ahead of time, so we talked about some more stuff. In the works with maybe wrestling travel. Just to put that out there, guys, wrestling travel is a great way to go to all the big events. And that's not just the big WWE events. It's Wrestle Kingdom, it's AEW events, it's everything. If you haven't heard about wrestling travel, really check it out. You can put WrestleMania on layaway and pay it monthly, and they take care of everything. You just show up to an airport, and they bust your ass around, and they take care of you. And you're not sitting in nosebleed. You're sitting, Alicia said, like the 100 section. Dude, I'm freaking fine with that.
Yeah, you're not. And the thing is, with all this and all they do, it's not expensive like you would think. Like you go to a WWE thing and you get their meet, what they consider a meet and greet or whatever.
And you don't know who you're getting.
Yeah, you don't know who you're getting. $500 and some, you get a chair and maybe a poster, and then whoever
Dana
they decide
Brooke comes out.
Yeah. Nothing
Great.
against Dana Brooke, but again, if I'm going to be shelling out that kind of money, I seen what I could get for that amount of money. I damn well better be able to get, something
like
pretty damn equivalent.
And wrestling travel is going to be something that's going to help you out. So Alicia and I talked about that. And then I skipped around to just a bunch of people. There's so many that I wanted, like Baby Doll, Miss Tessmacher. I got to see her. Probably two of my favorite guys, and we might get some slack on the one, but Gilbert was, I posted my picture of it already. Gilbert was unfreaking believable.
Just hilarious.
And wanting to spend time with you.
Yeah, and I mean, we were, talking with them, and, hey, let's do this picture, or let's do that picture, and just an awesome guy.
Gilbert, I'm going to release this. Gilbert will be on the show in the near future. Legit have Gilbert's phone number in my phone. I have a couple other ones, but Gilbert's pretty big.
We're going to save some of this, though.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the upcoming shows.
I'm not releasing everything, but one is the Gilbert one I want to spoil and let you know that it's unbelievable. He's like, oh my God, yeah, I've heard of you guys. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, so we talked about how we got started and, that we're hooked up with Al Snow and OVW a little bit. And he's like, that man is the greatest man in wrestling. I would not be here because of the job squad of being Dwayne Gill, not Gilberg. He's like, he's the man, and he's the reason why I'm here. He's like, I will definitely call me, schedule this, and so we're good to go. Yeah. I wasn't allowed leaving his table until we did this.
And somebody that was right next to Gilbert, too, just as funny as hell, was the Blue Meanie.
Yeah.
Dude's hilarious. And he, again, and this is going to be a reoccurring theme for quite a few. There's going to be some...
They're coming up.
They're, not so good ones. But he was just cracking up and, personalizing our photo. And I said to him, hey, I know this is many years removed, but I said, I thought that shit when JBL legit punched you in the face,
right,
and bloodied him on one of the invasion angles and the one pay-per-view, was bullshit. I said I would have jacked him if it would have been me. I would have legit laid into him. And he was like, he said the thought was in my head, but he's a piece of trash and I didn't want to waste my time with him.
The other many good ones, guys. We're holy shit, we're 45 minutes into this already. It's unbelievable.
There's two that I do want to highlight.
One I was gonna highlight because I went first. This is somebody that once he was released, right? Is this where I'm going? The one that called you out?
Yes.
Okay. One of the guys that I wanted to see as soon as his name popped up that being on WrestleCade was Al Perez. This guy has been in, air quotes, hiding for a while.
He hates pro wrestling.
No, that's Eric Embry. That was Eric Embry that hates pro wrestling.
My bad.
Yeah. Al Perez just went in hiding, wanted a break. It's been years.
Yeah, they said about 4 years he hasn't appeared in over 4 years at anything.
So I'm like, holy shit, Al Perez. So I find him, I tell him, hey, this, that, and the other thing. Again, do my whole shtick about, this, that, and the other being Can Crushers. Introduce Chad. Say that he was in the military. I instantly disappear. I'm not being a dick, but I instantly disappear because Al Perez is now on you. And go.
Yeah, and we'll talk about another point. But he was like, he said you were in and how long were you in and everything. And I'm hesitant to talk about it. It's just me. I don't want to say I'm necessarily a humble person, but I'm very nervous talking.
That's more like
about
you're nervous.
Talking about it because I don't like compliments and everything are fine, but it just makes me uncomfortable. I'm just that type of person. I don't know how to explain it. But he was like, I appreciate. He comes over, puts his one hand on my shoulder. Dude, 60 some years old at this point, and he could walk
better than us.
He could put. That's not saying a lot in my case.
Well, either one of them.
He could dye his hair black again and get out there and hang with anybody today.
Yeah. When we get to later, I'll spoil some of this. I didn't know the accolades that he had. National champion, state champion, the champions of him. Holy balls.
But just an awesome guy, and, like I said, thanked me for my service and everything. It was great. Left with a really awesome impression of him.
Yeah.
Not something I expected because, and he just was
He's
always
a bad guy.
He was always a bad guy, and I know that it's their thing.
Right.
I know that they put out a certain thing, but when you see these guys, and then and there's quite a few of them that we'll talk about, and they, you don't see them out in public, and they disappear. Your impression is, man, that guy was a real dick.
Douchebag.
And then he comes like this, and it's like, this is somebody that you'd probably, if you live near him and stuff like that, you'd probably go out to
I want to go
dinner
out
with
beer
or
with him
something,
every night.
or something like that.
The other one was somebody you really were looking forward to just because she's gorgeous.
Yeah, Lillian Garcia. I've always been a fan of hers. Loved her voice. She's easy on the eyes, but she always seemed to be a down-to-earth person. I remember back when they were doing the clips after Eddie Guerrero passed away, and I brought this up to her. I said, you told the story about how you went over to Iraq and the soldiers were thanking you guys for coming and this and that and everything, and how Eddie said, why are you thanking me? It's me who should be thanking you. You make us possible. And she just listened, very intent, looking in the eyes, not distracted, nothing coming in. When I was talking to her, it was me and her, and there was nobody else there.
Granted, she had a line of 50.
Yeah,
but she didn't look behind you.
And and how she knew I was military is I had to show. And again, I don't bring this up. I don't throw the card out there trying to get something.
It's your ID, though.
Well, I'm saying the military vet card. I don't
Right.
try to use that to my advantage or anything like that. But I had to show my ID so they could verify that I'd ordered her package online. And when I showed it, she seen it and she was like, "Thank you for your service." She said, "I make it a point to know the IDs, the types of IDs, because without you guys, me wouldn't have been possible."
But she also said that's the same one that her father served in, right?
Yes, her father was a Marine, 20 years, served 20 years in the Marine Corps, a lieutenant colonel, I believe is what she said, or colonel. But just an awesome lady. And when I went for the picture, and this kind of got to me, and I don't know if Mark kind of caught it, but if you look on the picture, I mean, she puts her head on my shoulder, just kind of leaning into me, and she whispered, she said, "Honestly, thank you for your service." And I was that close
Giving her a kiss.
to breaking down.
Oh, I did not see that. I thought
The
you were
other
gonna
one
kiss
would
her.
have, the other one would have probably got me thrown in jail and my ass kicked. Not necessarily in that order, but
Okay. So there was many good ones. There's many stories like that, and that's what FanFest is about. But on the sidebar, there's a couple stories that you need to know because we shoot the truth. We're transparent. We don't shoot. I hate that word. The wrong word for the podcast. We're transparent with what happens with us. Two rub me the wrong way. Not as bad as yours, but two rub me the wrong way, and I'm going to throw them under the bus. We were kind of excited to see the Knurdles. And we roll over there, and
if you don't, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if for those of you who
Go ahead, yeah.
might not know him, Don Conato was big in the NWA in the 80s. Teamed with Sergeant Slaughter, was World Tag Team Champions on 2 or 3 occasions, if I'm remembering correctly. They had a huge feud with Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood, which was one of the kicking points for Ricky Steamboat's career.
Yeah.
And Jay Youngblood, God rest his soul, been gone for many years now. That feud made them a superstar.
So, kind of like I said, kind of excited to see them. It was one of our free tickets, so I'm now being a dick saying this because it was in our package. We roll up with it. Hey, they welcome us great. Hey, they're welcome us. Da-da-da-da-da. But Joe Blow from Kokomo now rolls over and says, "Hey, did you hear about XYZ
High
school stadium booth, press box, or whatever? They tore it down yesterday." And then we weren't there.
Yeah.
Because then they continued to talk about, holy shit, XYZ high school.
And I do want to say that was mostly Rocky Coronado that was doing that.
Right.
And Don kind of put up with it for a tiny amount of time, and then he, kind of cuffed him on the arm and said, "Hey, we got to take care of these guys."
Yeah. but it felt like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Because he just shut down. He said hello to us, and then whatever. Is it insignificant? Yes. I mean, they signed, we took our picture, they thanked us, it was cool, awesome. The one that rubbed me the wrong way.
She rubbed me the right way.
Well, no, it wasn't. I'm all right with that one.
Oh, okay,
right.
sorry.
No, it was Sam Houston. Sam Houston would have given two shits if anybody was there. He signed all his pictures ahead of time, just like, here you go. Stood up, took a picture, sat down. Stood up. I mean, he was just there.
Yeah, no.
And he was one that I was excited to see. Go back and listen to, like, the tribute to my mom and everything. My mother loves Sam Houston, so I was excited. I'm going to get to see Sam Houston. This is going to be one that's going to kind of make its way in the studio someplace good. I don't know if it's making its way in the studio right now because this jack off just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, he's just no personality, no real interaction, no emotions. He was like, I want to say he was a robot.
Yeah.
It was hand, step up, walk over, picture, then
left. You had worse off than I did. You really did. And I knew about one from an IWC event that happened in Meadville, and he's just a complete asshole in wrestling. So let's get that one out because everybody's going to know where we're going with this one.
Yeah, this was Scott Steiner. Big Papa Pump. More like little brain and little dick. But anyway, sorry. Mark warned me, but I was like,
you wanted the NWA titles.
I wanted the tag team belts. I figured, okay, I don't have to worry about him freaking out or beating the hell out of me or anything like that. That was how I got myself okay with meeting them. Then I go up there. Rick, awesome dude. Very talkative, shook our hands, everything like that. Scott was all about the green.
Yep.
And I said, I ordered this package and showed him thing. He said, okay. And I had him sign the belts. And I said, how about the picture with you guys? And he's like, that'll be another $60. For a picture on my phone.
Yeah.
Another $60. It was at that time that he kind of, I don't want to say he puffed out his chest, but his voice changed, his demeanor changed, and I was honestly worried about arguing a point with him.
Yeah. And
he said, what you had done on your belts is your $60. And I said, well, what about the picture? And he was like, it's one picture, one autograph. So if I wanted a picture with Rick and an autograph from Rick, that was the $60. If I wanted a picture with Rick and Scott and autographs for both of them, that was $120. Then on top of that, if you get anything besides the stock photos, which are okay photos, nothing special, not real bad except for one, which we'll get into, then that's another $60. So for a picture with them, an autograph with them, and one of them or each of them to sign the belt would have been $30 a piece. At that point, I was worried about him and his demeanor and everything. And I said, okay. I said, thank you. And I was done with it. But I was pissed, but I also knew that...
Funny story, though. A guy that we met down here, probably going to be a friend of the show now, Blake, said he kind of had the same instant. More or less the same words. Like, he got screwed over from the Steiners from something.
And again, I want to say Scott was the one managing the money.
Right, I know.
Rick wasn't having anything to do with the money, and I could understand Rick not arguing with him and stuff like that. But this guy, Blake, he got one of the commemorative turnbuckles, WrestleCade Super Show turnbuckles, and he was having people sign. Well, he sits it down on the table when he goes to them, and they both, sign it, and that's what he was going to have him do, but he didn't specifically
say anything yet.
Say it, and they said, or he said, I want a picture with you guys too, and took the picture, And Scott said, you owe us $120. And he was like, 120. And it goes again in. 30 for Scott, 30 for Rick. 30 for Scott, 30 for Rick.
Right.
And it was 120, and what was he going to do? He paid it, and he said the same thing. Scott's demeanor, his poise,
it just changed. He's like, he actually said he was worried. He saw that they were $60. You know, walking the tables, you can see their price, that they were $60. He didn't have much left. He was actually thinking about the Freebirds. The Freebirds were stated $100. He's like, I can't do the Freebirds. You know, I want to have some money for the next couple days, this, that, or the other. He goes to the Steiners, and he ends up losing $60 on top of what he already paid.
yeah.
So,
And I want to preface this by saying, reason that, you know, the irritation about it is, and I'll be honest, you have guys like the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, any of the other big names there, multiple people there. The Steiners were the only effing ones that you get a package, a picture, and a thing like, I'll say, Colonel Parker and Bunkhouse Buck. Yes, obviously, different thing or whatever with them, different people. And again, Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express. I got the Midnight Express to sign my belt, all three of them, for $36. The Rock and Roll Express, $20.
right.
Magnum TA. It's just everybody. It was all about the money. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, it was. So overall though, we'll wrap this up quick because we're hour deep more or less, and we got other things to talk about.
Yep.
FanFest was great. It was
Yeah.
bad taste in the mouth from the Steiners, whatever. Bad taste from Sam and what the hell, whatever. But not bad enough to say my weekend's done.
Some of the other ones, just real quick, some of the other ones that people were talking about were dicks. The Dudleys.
Yeah.
Both of them. Don't know what was going on, but they were not at the same table. They were not even close to each other.
No, they weren't. I don't
And
understand
it was really
But
weird.
they also had a package, though. That's the thing.
So something weird there. There was guys that didn't show up, everything like that.
MVP didn't show up for the signing. He showed up for the card.
But overall, great thing. You know, something I do want to mention, the memorabilia. There's guys there doing phenomenal drawings.
Guys, I got I got a CM Punk drawn picture that he just autographed.
Starcast.
It's Starcast, and this is unbelievable.
The quality of these.
$50.
And these are the original prints. These are not ran off copies of the prints. These are the original prints.
The thing that coming next year now, maybe I'll send back from the autographs because I spent a ton of money on autographs. Love you, Kelly. Happy belated birthday as well, because it was her birthday this weekend and I left her. There's so much memorabilia that I really didn't spend enough time looking at the memorabilia. Like, as soon as you come in, there's that table that was like the whole wall.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, everything and anything you can think of. You know, your first thought is figures and old wrestling books. Oh my God, that and then your
belts, specialty T-shirts,
shirts,
artists that should be right alongside Picasso in wrestling terms.
Specialty magazines, comic books.
Oh my God, those are awesome.
Just, I mean, it's just for me.
The fan
next
fest
year,
isn't
I
long
want
enough.
Yeah, the fan fest should be. I think for the vendors, they should be there, be able to be there longer. I know they probably could if they wanted to be there Friday and Sunday, but I think it should be open.
Yeah.
I should think it should be open longer to them. But yeah, we gotta get moving.
All right. So no, we really don't have to talk about a lot because the Super Show was okay.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the car. Our match from that show was Aldis and the Rock and Roll Express against LAX and
Homicide and Hernandez.
Homicide, Hernandez, and Latimer. Great match. NWA quality match. I loved it. Everything was done right. The match that I hated from it, Muda's match, was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, on Muda, he should have never stepped into the ring. He was great as somebody to have there signing, but he should have never.
Wrestle.
Yeah, very. I don't know how to say it other than he's very crippled up. Can't move. Couldn't get into the ring by himself. Definitely couldn't get out of the ring by himself. Didn't come off his feet. Didn't through 2 shoulder blocks that wouldn't have knocked a fly down.
Vinny would have done better.
Yeah. And we understand what he put his body through and everything like that, but it was honestly felt. I was kind of worried if something happens and he gets knocked down.
What the hell?
He's going to be hurting because he walked like somebody who just threw their back out, had neck surgery, and 2 broken arms. That's how he was walking. And it was sad to see that because you remember how he was. But just somebody who shouldn't have been in the ring.
Battle Royal had a lot of surprises. The women's match was great. It's on Fight TV. Go watch that. Revert to right after that is what we were excited about. We talked about this for 3.5 of the 5 hours that we were in Virginia on the way down. The Orange Show.
Well, it was supposed to be the Orange Show.
First, it's supposed to be the live podcast, okay? It's supposed to be live podcast from WrestleCade. We get in there. Number 1 is Conrad's not here. He's staying in Alabama. Upset about that. Whatever. So that's strike 1. Because not that Conrad's somebody super great or whatever, but he's part of the Orange Show that I listen to.
He's huge in the wrestling business.
And it's fun. I would have loved to talk to him more than Arn for a minute.
On the flip side of that, his replacement, the guy from Bruce Mitchell.
Yeah, from the Torch. Not as good as Conrad. Should not ever handle a Q&A session as broadcast person. Not a good speaker. He talked a lot about the Dirty Dozen, which was him and his friends from Greensboro a lot. Yeah, he would circle to Arn with questions, but I'd say probably him and his buddies most of the time. I'd say probably 75% of his talk was about him. Yeah. And how him and his buddies came into, whatever storylines and blah 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 with Arn. Again, it ended up not being a live podcast. It was just a Q&A. So I think it was scripted a little bit in my terms. I said that I thought that there was plants in the audience with questions because it's the same stuff that I've heard on his podcast, and it just he was too quick with. Again, probably 3/4 of the questions, he was just too quick with his response, and it wasn't like it was an easy question or anything. It was, boom. Yeah, it just seemed fishy. All right, the worst part of the whole thing, we both have our titles. We both want Arn's autograph on these NWA titles. We have upgraded to the VIP to be personalized stuff on these titles, which we were told would be allowed. And this is supposed to run 9 to 11. And they kick us out at 10:30. And then Arn doesn't take pictures with the TV title. Yeah, puts his title away as soon as he gets off. Which was, kind of sucked, but I was like, okay, whatever. I could deal with that because we had our own titles. Yeah. Okay, fine and dandy. We get over to the table. They open up this package of pre-signed, supposedly,
I'll just say, in my opinion, I can't tell if it's really signed or if it's copies of signed, cartoonish
Well, it's the
picture for the Arn show.
It's the Arn show, a picture of Arn and Conrad on. Do you remember the movie Twins? Danny
Twins.
DeVito and
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They've cut DeVito and Schwarzenegger's heads off and put Arn's head and Conrad's head on there and slapped Conrad's shit on there as I spit on myself. Beer's done, by the way. And slap the Arn show logo on it. And boom, that's what he's like. All right, guys, have your phones ready. Take the picture, hand it to the guy. Take these pictures. Get the hell out of here. See you later.
Yeah,
we go
no person before we even get to with our belts, no personalized items. So if somebody had a picture from Arn from a previous event,
an awesome
or a
Horseman
magazine
picture,
with him, nope. Can't do it. If I do it for one, I'll have to do it for all. We'll get to that. Go ahead.
So we Chad's first. We get up there with the belts, and he says, "No, I can't." So Chad goes talk to the guy. The guy's like, "Just hold on." Okay. I walk up. No, I can't. All right, go talk to the guy. Okay, fine and dandy. Two kids had the same thing boots. Arn's like, "I can't." Okay. Come over and talk to the guy. So now there's 4 guys. The very last guy has a TV title, which he's a jackass. He's got the TV title and I don't. But, no, I can't. Go over and talk to the guy. All right. Everybody is out of there now, but 5 guys. And we both have our hands up. That's so funny.
And it's a 10:15.
Right.
So we still have
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Right.
Let's say 10 minutes and...
change, whatever. So
whatever.
The guy that we've now, all 5 of us have talked to is like, go ahead. Just get back up there. So we get back up there. Chad again whips out his belt because we're going back in order of the way that we came off. Everybody's cool. All right, let's see. Chad whips it out. Doesn't even take it the whole way out of the case. Just opens it up. And Arn says, I can't.
He says, can't do it if I'd have to do it for everybody. And
there's 5 freaking people in this room.
Yeah, and I'm like, I said, there's nobody else here. And he said, sorry, can't do it. And one of the other guys was like, there's 5 people here.
And now that guy that we were sent to is beside himself.
Yeah.
He's actually like, the guy taking the picture is also now defending Arn. He said he can't do it. But the guy that was like, okay, look, it's 26 after. We still have time. Just put your damn name on it. He's like, I don't know, guys. We'll work something out. Go to this email. Well, I'm not going to tell them the email.
Yeah.
But go to this email.
And I'll just say, they tried to get away with, it said one photo and
one 8x10.
One 8x10, whatever. And that's not what it said. It said one personalized item.
Right.
And one picture.
That's what all 5 of us said when we were leaving that room, too.
So it's going to be it's going to be...
Yeah. So...
More to come on that in later podcasts.
Yeah, we'll let you know how that happens. So we're kind of leaving Saturday. All 5 of us that didn't know. Well, Chad and I knew each other. The 2 guys with their boots knew each other. And the TV title guy kind of walked different ways, but we were pissed. So we're all talking, not loud, making a point, but we all said the same thing. It was like, that just left a bad taste in our mouth for WrestleCade. And it did. We came back to the hotel. We were kind of bumming. It was earlier than the night before. We were on minimal sleep anyway, so we kind of went to sleep. We wake up this morning. Sidebar from wrestling. I'm trying to be a nice guy downstairs. There's a guy that's, kind of a little injured or whatever, and I don't know what the hell's going on. He asked me, can I help put on his shoes?
Couldn't get the guy's shoes on.
He wouldn't bend his feet. I couldn't help him. I felt worthless this morning before eating and everything. I didn't know where we were going. I'm like, if it's going to be like this, I can't. I really tried to get his shoes on, and it just wasn't working. So, I'm sorry, man. I know you probably are not going to listen to the podcast, but it bothered me for a while, and it just, whatever. So we're still bumming. We're driving there. We get to the event center, and first thing on the docket today is the WCCW reunion. I'm on my phone. Chad's on his phone. We're just there. Open the doors. We're 10 minutes late again for this. We roll in. Well, all right, we're getting into the flow and everything. Besides what happens with Chad in this, this is right underneath Dustin for me. The way that all of them talked, and Black Bart was ready. We'll get to the story. I know what you want to say.
Oh, no, I'm just like the people that were on this.
Because I don't know if this is recorded.
Bobby Fulton. I mean, there was
Baby Doll,
Rick Hazard. Jimmy Garvin was a center, which I don't know if Mark will post this on the Can Crushers picture
yeah,
Jimmy Garvin gave me.
Yeah.
It just an awesome lineup of old
I don't know how much
wrestlers.
of it's on Fight TV or if it's going to be on. Before we dive into a lot of it, we're touching on the two main things that we want to. But maybe we can circle back around to this next week. Because this was, like I said, after Dustin, it's this. Of what's going on. And then wrestling kind of comes in third with some of the matches and stuff. But Black Bart got pissed off. Not pissed off, ready to fight, but these guys were not pulling punches about wrestling today. They legit talked about Sportatorium and what it meant to them and everything. I don't know which one brought wrestling up today, and Black Bart just went off about what was going on and what he just... he's a great human being.
Yeah, the pre-printed scripts, the no feeling, the not being able to do interviews, and not saying that all of them are bad, but just connecting with the fans, telling a story, destroying kayfabe. Something that hit me. I asked him.
Go ahead.
I asked him. I got up question. I was kind of a little bit pushy. I wanted to ask the question, and I said, "How did?" And because you had referees, wrestlers, promoters up on this panel, valets, everything. I said, "How did the deaths of the Von Erichs? What did this do? To the community, to the wrestling, to the locker rooms and stuff like that. How did this affect everything?"
Stop. Before this, okay, Black Bart had said, "Hello, my name is Black Bart. This I'm You remember me? Just kind of generic stuff. Then the answers came out from this. Go.
And I asked the question, how did Von Erich's death affect him? And it didn't come off the way that I thought it would be. We found out a lot of stuff about the Von Erichs from them. They were all sad. They all, felt for him. But other than David Von Erich, there wasn't one of the Von Erichs that were liked. And this went beyond. And Mark will agree.
Beyond storylines.
Beyond storylines. This went beyond the, Fritz Von Erich being the dad, the promoter of all these kids and featuring them. That wasn't even discussed.
No.
It wasn't even brought up. And they're just like, the various guys, Kevin Von Erich was clumsy and hurt a lot of people.
That one story. Stop for a minute. This is going to go longer than we want. But nonetheless, this is WrestleCade weekend. We're going to cover this. Probably not going to get into anything going on this week in wrestling because AEW was NXT was okay. Raw and SmackDown, I didn't even watch SmackDown. So let's just pull that off. We're not going to cover this. We're going to stay with WrestleCade the whole time and just stick with that and wrap back around wrestling next week. Okay? Got that covered. Yeah, this way, if we go long, we don't have to squeeze in wrestling because this is really the cool weekend. Guys, if you can save your money, first of all, promo real quick, and then we'll get back to that. If you can save your money from now until next year at this time, you can spend as little or as much as you want to. The best way, this super ticket, what we got to get into 7 events, and at one point it was 25 autographs, and we were like, fuck it, it's still a great deal, was $250. Well, somebody canceled, not that we were going to get them, and it kept rolling. At one point it was up to 39 people that we were going to get with this super ticket, along with the 7 events, for $250 to get into this event. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you get all this stuff.
And it's general admission it was general admission to the events, but we didn't sit, even with the ones where the VIPs or first row was bought or second row was bought, the furthest we sat back
was row 5.
Was row 5 on the first one, and we had seats that were within spitting distance of where they came out. Our view was not obstructed of them coming out. Our view was not obstructed of the ring.
Nothing. So, if you want to do VIPs and everything cool, this $250 super ticket, the way to go, unfreaking believable. We talked about the hotel in the first part. So, besides buying stuff, that's on you. If you just want to get down here and be a part of WrestleCade, make friendships like we met with Blake and a couple other people that we talked to, it's well worth it. But, all right, back to the Von Erich thing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Carrie, they said, they put it nicely. They had to be handled with kid gloves. Black Bart put it, he was nothing but a big pussy.
Yeah.
And that's the exact
words. Kevin's story is what I was going to tell. He was working with Al Perez that night. He was working with Al Perez, and Kevin was on the top rope, ready to drop an elbow or a leg or whatever, and Al's laying there, and all of a sudden, Kevin falls.
Just drops like he was shot.
So, after the match and everything happens, Al, and Kevin are back talking. He's like, man, I'm sorry. Somebody opened the back door and the wind kind of blew me off. You're a 200-some pound guy. What? And then Eric Embry comes on and says pretty much the same exact thing. Kevin was going for an elbow, and he missed again by feet.
Oh, they turned the AC on.
Somebody turned the AC on.
Oh.
These guys did not pull punches. And Baby Doll was up there as well. So, girls, Baby Doll didn't say anything much about the Von Erich. She told, if you want to hear a great interview with Baby Doll, go back and listen to our interview with her a few weeks ago. That's pretty much what Baby Doll said, how she got into the business and some of the cool things. Because if she was saying it at the chat, I'm like, she said the same stuff on the podcast. So, but this panel was great. And then that's where Black Bart just rolled with it and just started. I thought he was going to break the table one time.
Yeah, he was very, very animated. But he got his point across, and there wasn't a thing that he said that was a lie.
Yeah. No.
About anything. About, everybody agreed with them. They were nodding. They clapped. And everything.
The Hall of Fame that's in Texas announced their Hall of Fame class. That's something you guys should look into, as Mantell and James Beard are part of that. So they made that announcement this week. I don't know if it's completely up on Facebook yet, so I'm not going to jump on that. But that was great.
You want to start what Al Perez did?
All right, so Al Perez, everybody was talking, and Al Perez is like, hey, wait a minute, guys.
And this is right after I asked my question. So it was them going off about the Von Erich.
It was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It was a good 15 minutes, so everybody kind of forgot that you asked the question. Boom, everybody went off about the Von Erichs, And then Al's like, wait a minute, give me that mic. He's like, I want you to know.
He said, Chad.
Chad. He legit said, Chad, stand up. Go now. It's your story.
He said, Chad, stand up. And I'm like thinking, oh shit, what the hell did I do?
You just pissed off all these guys.
I'm like, did I bring up something that I shouldn't have? And I stand up, and he said, he stood up, and he said, you want to talk about the definition of a hero, you need to look at this guy talking about me. He finished recently 21 years of service in the military. And
it was
without anybody saying anything beyond that. I mean, he said thank you,
standing ovation,
love you for your service, and everybody, the fans and the wrestlers and that all stood up, and it broke me down. I could feel the tears going.
It sure as shit broke you down. I couldn't look at you because I was crying for you.
I
cry a lot. So
I thanked them and bowed and everything like that. And it wasn't just a quick clap. It was probably a good 30, 45 second thing, and that really hit me.
It was nice. You deserve it. You deserve. Okay, because you'll punch me. All right. So now we move on. After that was awesome. That was like I said, one of my favorite things. We're rolling into the 1 o'clock show. 2 wrestling shows today: Queens of Combat, and then the day after AML show. We left the Queens of Combat, Chad, and I know this will be on Fight TV and the Women's Wrestling Network. So. We'll brief over some of the people who were there. Lindsay Snow is somebody to watch out for. How about we do this? She was hanging out with Shannon Moore, which didn't care about people either, by the way. But Lindsay Snow was hanging out with him. She's somebody to watch out for. Yeah. I thought she was just there, maybe like as a girlfriend or something. I didn't know anything about her, but her match, damn, she's good.
Yeah, I'll just without talking too much about the matches themselves, hands down, the Queens of Combat card was the best card.
Yeah,
by far of the weekend.
The day after, there's a couple matches in the day after.
But
the whole card, though, yeah, no.
I mean, they had storylines in the card. They had, the run. They had stuff that was what you would see. Obviously, you're gonna see it on TV,
right?
Which the other ones didn't, through no fault of their own, but. Different federations and different stars, you can't really have storylines, but they didn't do anything. They didn't do, bad guy comes down and screws the good guy over. They, there really wasn't really bad finishes. No disqualifications. No things like that.
No funny business.
Yeah, no funny business. Things that are
pull you into wrestling.
And that's why I feel it was the best card, hands down.
Trish Adora, somebody great. We have a little bit of a tie with Maddie Max, as she did the combine for OVW, so we kind of know. We know some people that know her, and she saw us. So Maddie Max might be something in the near future. Guys, again, Tessa was injured, but she did show up for her 2 things that she already. She was going to be at Queens of Combat, and she was going to be at Saturday Night Show. She did some stuff.
She did commentating.
Yeah.
On Saturday Night Show, along with Booker T.
No, Stevie Ray.
Or Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep thinking Booker T.
Sue Young was here, which is one of my favorites. But I will say this, without giving away what happened. The Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz match, probably...
Oh, easily the best match of the weekend.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. The other match happened pretty much right after this, which turned a little more hardcore. But I want to give the women the match of the weekend. I do.
No, easily.
Tasha Steelz is amazing. I said this on the way down. I was excited to see her. I saw her in a rise of women's in Pittsburgh a couple years ago. She's just, there's something about her that I like.
She's got the it factor.
Yeah, and Kira's great too. That's why this match just freaking tore the house down. Queens of Combat, guys, you can get online and find these. There's many shows to watch. You suggest it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
There's nothing bad to talk about Queens of Combat.
Yeah. It's not a Divas thing. It's not a shaking the ass for attention and that's all they can do type thing. It's not pretty faces that can't wrestle. No, they're the real deal.
Then we go to AML the night after, and the Dawsons against the Gymnasty Boys turned out to be a hardcore match, and second match of the weekend for me.
Yeah, and it, even though it was, they went hardcore, the actual catch can wrestling and everything was awesome within the match too.
Some guys again that we talked about, Billy Brash was great, Colby Carino, those two I liked what they did in their match. George South and C-Dub, man, I never thought I'd see, I tweeted this already so I ruined it for everybody because I tweeted it. I never thought I'd see a George South win a heavyweight championship.
Long overdue, but even at his age, and he's been wrestling 40-some years now, still put on a pretty damn good match.
It was a good match.
This would honestly be, I think it was a pay-per-view quality match.
Oh, yeah. But it's better than some of the shit that...
Yeah. And we're not saying with some federations that's a high thing, but no, this was a very high match. If I was, to go with the 1 to 5 star rating, I'd say a 4-star.
Yeah, and C-Dubs was good. That's what I'm saying. And then the storyline, because AMLW was doing this on this card. AML. What did I say?
Put a W on it.
Oh, AML was doing the storylines on this one, and CW grabbed the title back from him and said, I was told by Gene and Ole that, you bow and you present the greatest trophy that you have, and it was good. It was great. The locker room cleared out. Everybody was chanting George South. Unbelievable
moment.
Jax Dane had a great weekend. He won the top rope battle royal of whatever yesterday.
Top rope belts battle royal yesterday.
And now he's the number one contender to face George South.
Well, he, on the AML, the last match was, the next to the last match was a battle royal with the winner getting
George South.
A title shot against George South. Some awesome spots in the match. Dane and his choke slams, and there was another big guy in there.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name. Apologize for that. But they were kind of like, oh, you can do that, I can do this. And these guys took some hard slams. It looked bad.
You know what I love the most about this? I love Jax Dane. Can Crusher alum. Great guy to talk to. Has gotten me through a few things. Great guy. Ellie took 3 or 4 shots that I don't know how she's walking right now. She sold them great. We don't know Ellie as much. We are going to dive in to find out more about Ellie. She was on the Queens of Combat match as well. She came out in this battle royal, and at first I'm like, hokey. No, not at all.
She didn't do, a flying head scissors or put Dane in a submission hold or stuff like that. She made her presence known, but it looked believable. It wasn't Impact
Right.
stuff that's going on.
Which, that was actually brought up too, about the whole Tessa challenging Brian Cage thing, and it's not liked that much down here. Even though Tessa is from down here.
And Tessa's absolutely loved. She's an awesome wrestler, but it's just their feelings are kind of what mine is on it, that it's not remotely realistic for somebody of her size to beat somebody of Brian Cage's size without 20 other guys laying them out and then somebody doing it like that. But
the last match of the weekend is King Shane and Aldis, and great match, no title change. There was a fire in the midst of the match, and not
a fire drill,
a fire drill.
And the lights are going off. Messages coming up, and it's
Nobody's
going throughout
moving.
the whole match, and nobody's moving. So we just nobody left.
Nobody left. You
And
see Tracy Myers running around though. I will throw this out because we both said there goes Tracy. Tracy, the creator of WrestleCade. Possible spoiler there, but Tracy Myers, wonderful guy. Wonderful guy. We talked to him. You saw a picture with him. There's a lot to come with Tracy. You see him. As soon as it goes off, you see him run. He's making sure that, shit, do I need to clear 1,500? No. 1,000, maybe 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 people out of that room in like 30 seconds. And do I need to worry about King Shane, Nick Aldis, and the rest of the talent that's lingering? Right. Nothing was said. No harm, no foul. We did come out of the event, and the firemen were there, so lickety-split, everything was taken care of, so all good. Nothing burnt down.
No.
But, all right, this is where we're going to wrap up everything, and we'll run through our shtick at the end just to make sure that we get collar and elbow in here. Al Snow is down here. We've got Al Snow's book. Got to talk with him a little bit. Al says, Mark, when you coming back down to Louisville? December 10th is Christmas Chaos. It's in Louisville Slugger Stadium. Maybe I need somebody to ride to Louisville with for a night. I don't know. We'll have to see, Chad. I'm sure Chad's in for wrestling for a night. Louisville's only 7 hours. It's a different way.
Yeah, 7 hours, depending on how many cops are on the road.
Once you get into Louisville, I fly. Just don't tell them when I'm driving, because that was probably stupid that I admitted it on there. But I was really hauling ass in Kentucky. Where was I going? Oh, overall, and I want you to go first. You had, let's talk about the disses. You had the Steiners. You had Arn. Well, I had Arn too. You had the Steiners, which is number one.
I'll just say overall,
We both had about 3 issues. Well, put it that way. We both had about 3 issues.
I would rate it a 4 or 5 experience. There was things that were out of the promoter's control that happened. Talent not showing up, talent showing up late. Nothing said about the talent. Things like that out of his control. The Steiners thing, the Arn thing. It didn't ruin the weekend, but it's something, to me, I wouldn't invite the Steiners back.
Right.
That's
where we need the people, and this is where I'll be a voice of people that want to not say anything. I ask you to say something. If you're listening to this and you had an issue with the Steiners, reach out to WrestleCade and let them know. Don't let it go to the wayside, because that'll only help WrestleCades from here on out. Because say in 3 years he's like, all right, the Steiners haven't been here again. Maybe they just don't invite them back because they're dicks. I would tell Justin Plummer to revert it back to us at IWC, not to have the Steiners there. I had a horrible experience with the Steiners in Meadville. He is just, because Rick was awesome. All right. But you said 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. You know, the wrestling itself was good. There was, a couple of good matches. You got to see everybody. Don't expect, if you decide to come down here, the wrestling is, I don't want to say an afterthought, but the wrestling is not the point of WrestleCast. It's an added WrestleCade. It is an added bonus.
Yeah.
It is the meeting.
The Fan Fest.
Is the
meat and potatoes of this whole thing.
Just other than that, you got to decide what you want to come down and what you want to come down here for. We've given you a hotel budget. You have 12 months now. This is going up within, hours that, we have left WrestleCade. You have 12 months budget. Realistically, and I want to say this, with your other ticket things outside of the super ticket, you don't get the autograph stuff included with those packages that you get
with the super ticket.
That's just your seating. That's your seating for the wrestling events themselves.
You'll get in 5 minutes before us on seating, and you already have a controlled seat.
That's it. I would, to me, if you wanted, I can't go to a wrestling, or I don't want to go to wrestling unless I'm in the first 2 rows, buy that and then buy the super ticket and sell the tickets of the events at half price.
Yeah.
Make some money back. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, all right. My thoughts are as well, 4 out of 5. It's just a wonderful, wonderful event to go to. There is going to be a lot from WrestleCade that we talk about in the near future. Hopefully a lot of guests in the near future from the spotlights and stuff like that. But guys, what a wonderful weekend. I know we're a little bit longer than normal. Again, we have a spotlight coming up this Wednesday with a great talent. I'm not going to ruin it right now. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of them are at CanCrusher69. Thanks to Collar and Elbow for always sponsoring us. Didn't get the ad in. We're not going to play an ad and then go home. But Collar and Elbow, get on there, and shirts, hoodies, tees, hats, patches, everything that you need. When you check out, type in Can Crushers, capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers. You'll get 10% off your order. So that's great, and as we'll tell you all the time, they do kick some money back when you do order to help out our podcast. You want to send us an email, it's cancrushers69@gmail.com. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled program next week where we answer emails and so on and so forth. Head over to our website, which is cancrushers69.wixsite.com/cancrushers. You'll get all our shows on there. You'll get to see, our Instagram from there. You'll be able to see where we're going and what's going on in our neck of the woods, so on and so forth. But don't forget to help support Cauliflower Alley Club. It helps disabled wrestlers. It helps with funeral costs and stuff like that. Check out caulifloweralleyclub.org to help out. For a year, it's $25 to become a lifetime member. It's like $3.50. You get stuff from them. It's great. You want to hear more about the Cauliflower Alley Club, check out our B. Brian Blair interview. He breaks down a lot. And head over to our website. And again, we are going to reach out to Wrestling for Warriors. This is just, once I read into that, it just makes perfect sense that we are involved with that. Wrestling Travel. That's great too, Alicia. Hopefully here in the near future, we can spend a segment talking about that and a lot more with Alicia too. Hopefully she'll be coming on the show in the near future. She's got a busy schedule. We're just trying to figure out times. A lot of stuff like that has happened over the weekend. I have a ton of phone calls to make when I do get back to Pennsylvania. So everybody, Chad has left for a few seconds. I'm going to wrap this up. And just remember, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Guys, thank you for support. We love you. And join us at WrestleCade next year. You will not be disappointed. Tracy Myers, we'll be talking to you real soon.